Hey everyone, my name is Poisonblade and I hope all of you are having a nice day. So for today, we're going to tour the Mirage Mountains because I want to talk and I haven't done that in 2 weeks. But hey, this is going to be the second of 3 videos. So look at me being productive and making more than 2 videos a week. But anyway, because I don't want this tour to be an hour long, because I know I can do that, let's get started. So, yeah, honestly, I don't really have much to say about this building. It's supposed to be an aviary and a snake house, which, yeah, those two animals shouldn't really combine well. But yeah, let's immediately go to the big place, because Mashaf Castle was the start of my obsession with building castles. Also, had to buy Assassin's Creed again just to make sure that most things are accurate. Also, this is a running thing in Kayan al-Bashar, but that building or that tower doesn't have any doors. At least for the jumping off part, it doesn't have any doors. So, yeah, I occasionally just forget to put in doors, but it's in a place that you don't see. But yeah, because the cinematic tour ended here, it feels also right to then start here. But yeah, I just got the idea that to end the cinematic tour with you jumping off this area and being assassinated halfway through the courtyard. Yeah, that was literally a last minute thing. I am going to say though that frame rate for this video might not be the best because it's Kayan al-Bashar. But anyway, so a lot of this place is accurate. This isn't because in game, in Assassin's Creed, Mashaf Castle is a dead end, but in Kayan al-Bashar, it's the start of the Mirage Mountains. So this wall is modified so that a path can go through it. But let's go and glitch through the keep, which also was really fun to build because your character always never looks up here. Into the Garden of Paradise, and I think it's actually called that in game. But yeah, I love this place. And it's surprising that there's no habitat here. Well, for most people it's surprising. For me it's not, because you have to glitch through walls to get here. And the only place that you can view this garden from is actually from over there. So I think Rudy first pointed out that, yeah, why isn't there a habitat here? But then, in its entirety, Marshall Castle, Planet Zoo-wise, is useless. Like, there's no real function besides looking pretty, but then that's just a common thing throughout my builds. Everything is just meant to be pretty first and functional later. Also, I think these, well, buildings, I'm just going to say, I think I messed them up at the start and had to redo them at least 3 times because I got like the height wrong. Also, you'll see these bridges everywhere in Kayan al-Bashar because I love them. So it's basically one model. Like, I think one of these parts I have blueprinted, and then whenever I need a bridge like this, I just pick that pick that part and then build the rest from that, or just copy it and then build the rest. But yeah, going up, you have the lookouts, a plaque, just because, well, Rudy was the first to tour Kayan al-Bashar before the Mirage Mountains were even done, and this was just because yeah, he thought that there would be a habitat in there. It's not. I think if you go in there as a guest, you will probably get assassinated because it's not supposed to be accessible for normal, everyday peasants. Anyway, let's move on into the Mirage Mountains. Yeah, I like this place. I just like going up here, like the view with the trees and then the gypsy wagon, which is way too tall. Like, these wheels, I think we stand now with the camera at like maybe 150, 2 meters high. Yeah, those wheels are 2 meters high. Kayan al-Bashar is a land of giants. Also, just because he's walking along, Staff hates Kayan al-Bashar because I constantly forget to put in staff buildings, even in builds that are meant to be for staff. I forget. Also, there are a lot of these small little things that I built for Kayan al-Bashar because I don't build a zoo, I built a kind of a fantasy world. But just imagine a cart going full speed off this cliff into what's probably, well, a very high drop. But anyway, to the quarry, which I'm going to say for me is kind of a build that you pass along by. Like, it's not a big wow build like Mashav Castle. Also, this is the first time that I see the monkeys actually, because they usually, for some reason, they get boxed up all the time here. But yeah, so the quarry is not that much of an interesting build. It was fun to build, but afterwards I just built way larger things, so yeah, then it just got surpassed in like greatness. The gold mine, which only works through a recent patch, I think, because otherwise the lights would have been out before. Like when I built this, it had to be viewed in nighttime because the lights wouldn't turn on. And there are, I don't think, any wolves in here right now. No, they are outside. But I could view every area. I mean, you can go through these doors. No, well, scenery here unless you get outside here. And I don't build staff areas, but when I do, I think they forgive me because this is a staff area. And look at the view of the royal palace they got. Yeah, this was built before I think I finished the royal palace. I think before well, I think Rapunzel's tower was already there, but the rest wasn't, so their view just grew way more over time. But I should go through the darkness and finally get to the Alliance, right? Also, these rock walls were the last thing that I built before the release of Kayan al-Bashar. And just to point out a flaw of Kayan al-Bashar, I have no idea what the pathing here does. Like you can see the pathing clipping through the bridge. And this bridge was already modified, but I just couldn't get it to work. And I'm afraid if I rip out the pathing, that it won't be a path anymore. So anyway, going into the Alias Array. Again, this area is actually supposed to be viewed at night, but we're going to it at daytime because I want to show you guys everything and it's better seen at night, or better seen at day. Frozen fountain, which was really fun to build. And then, yeah, the inside of this building. I think right now I would replace these lights with candles, but this was built before the South America pack came out. But yeah, I like this place. I like that it's like completely destroyed on the outside and perfect on the inside, which to me just makes it more scary. And for anyone who has watched the cinematic tour, you know that there's a little friend there, but it's not in a cave, so the lights aren't on. So actually for that, it works great. Moving on to the Shattered Forest. So I'm actually somewhat mistaken. The rocks in the quarry weren't the last thing I built. This was the last thing. But the rocks in the quarry were the last task that I had to do. This was just an extra. This little shrine out in the middle of nowhere in an area where at night you will probably freeze to death. Also, if you go stand on this bridge, you might see it. But there's a little gypsy wagon there. Again, completely off the beaten path because I like to build small things. I mean, yeah, I'm just gawking at the frozen waterfall, which is the first thing I think I built for the Mirage Mountains. So this is the first thing that Kayan al-Bashar had. This frozen waterfall. And it actually lights up at night, but we're going through this at daytime. And then we are at Karshnik now. Also, every name that isn't like Mashav Castle, of course, or the Alias Array, all of these names have meanings. I have forgotten what the meaning is behind the name of the Temple of the Jinn. So I used to have a document where all of the meanings of names were laid out, but I lost that, so yeah, it was fun trying to find the meaning of Kayan al-Bashar, because Kayan al-Bashar is like, I think, half Arabian or half Turkish, half Persian, and Persian is really fun to try because not only is it a different language, it's a different alphabet. So, yeah, Kayan al-Bashar basically means rock city or royal city, and Karshnik means the Emperor's Fields. Temple al-Asmanva, this I later changed into Temple of the Jinn because I couldn't find what this name means anymore. I do know that it's like something with like frozen oasis, frozen mountain or something like that, or frozen heart. It's something with frozen, I think. Not the movie. That movie can burn because I can't get that song out of my head. Watched it once. Well, that's a lie. I watched it a couple of times because I like Disney movies. What can I say? But anyway, right now we're in Karshnik, and where I think this is the first building, and that was the second. Again, Karshnik is the one place in Kayan al-Bashar where we actually have staff facilities. Also, gun for the winter. And I do think that like these cherry blossom trees, they have a name, but I forget. I mean, I can only remember the Sudanese incense tree and the... what is the other tree? The date palm. Those are the only names I remember. But I do think that like in Kayan al-Bashar, these are kind of seen as, I don't know, religious trees. Like, they will do everything here in Karshnik to keep this tree alive. But yeah, building Karshnik, it was kind of difficult. I mean, there's still a floating building that for now I just want to keep. Like, I could easily fix this, but it has been here for so long and it's been floating for so long that I just want to keep it now as a memento. Because, yeah. Also, I should really figure out how to do smaller pods because, as you can see, this is just clipping into pod. But then, Kayan al-Bashar doesn't have any guest entrances. Again, the view. Like, I knew that the Royal Palace was going to be there. I did not know that it was going to be as big. I should stop talking about the Royal Palace because that's the tour for next week. But, yeah, Karshnik really gets a front seat for the Royal Palace. And... can you shut up? I'm talking here. Let's move away. Also, yeah, so there is the alBashar, which is... why can't I get off the path? I can't get away, but yeah. Alia is a person I know, and... yeah, that's... what is it? Scarecrow is also Alia, because he... that Scarecrow just reminds me of her, so, yeah. Anyway, so... small little... well, I'm not going to go down there because I don't think I will be able to get up there. Also, for... like, this is a thing that I will always have to be on the lookout for, but throughout Kayan al-Bashar, I always use these mud brick pillars to center things to build with. But sometimes I sink them into the ground and I forget that they are there, and then they pop out in a tour like this. Oops. But yeah. So, if you go through Kayan al-Bashar and find those mud brick pillars, I should have removed them. But I can't, or Kayan al-Bashar, but Karshnik as well. It's so big now that I can't really find all of them. Also, this is a toilet. Yeah. It's very festive for a toilet. But yeah, this is supposed to be like a festival area, or, well, town festival, or town party. I'm going to go away, because after playing Planet Coaster for... I can't get away of the music! But yeah, after playing Planet Coaster for so long, and then Planet Zoo, that music will just haunt me. Well, here is where building walls and fortifications just went into full swing. Also, there's tiny little air slits. I was very happy to have built these things. Again, no function. Like, these walls have no function. There's no habitat here. Well, there is, but that's there with the tall sheep. That. Anyway, going into the farming area, which, yeah, the Elysian Fields is also like a huge farm area, but this farm area is really meant to only supply Karshnik and maybe a little bit of the rest of Kayan al-Bashar. And autosave. And my obsession with red pandas. This is one of the few times that I built an actual bridge. Yeah. I don't like building bridges. Also know that Red Panda is not dead, he's just sleeping. I think in his own shit. Yeah. Hey buddy. Please be alive. Well, I think I've turned on or off that animals actually can't die, so he's definitely alive. But yeah, this was the first Red Panda build, because I couldn't really think of any other animal to have here. And yeah, he's alive. There were 2 animals in there. Alright. Hey, this is the first time that I see a Red Panda on the roof. Like, that roof is accessible for them all the time, but I've never seen them on it. Huh. So we have found a mystery mud brick pillar, and Red Pandas suddenly are on places that they weren't before. Aww. I like Red Pandas. I mean, they're lazy and fluffy. I am one of those things. The drawbridge. For a long time I actually thought, like, should I have just the standard Planko bridge or Planko Planet Zoo bridge here, because that also worked. But in the end I just kicked myself under the butt and built a drawbridge. Also, yeah, I don't think you would survive if that just fell on you. But yeah, this is the Temple of the Jinn, or Temple al-Asmanva, which again I have no idea anymore what the meaning of that name is, because lost the document. But the Siberian tiger habitat, which, yeah, this is just Petra. I wanted to build it because why not? Like, there's a lot of buildings in Kayan al-Bashar. It's just like, I want to build it. Why not? But yeah, the angels that I built, or the, well, angels, they look like angels, but they're supposed to be like the Jinn, or statues of the Jinn, because those statues aren't alive. The tigers are supposed to be the Jinn. But any long-time viewer might recognize these statues. They have made a comeback because the habitat that they were from is probably not going to return anymore. Like, sometimes I make a promise of like, oh, I'm going to build this or that, and then I don't follow up on it. Anyway, so yeah, this, let's just say, this is a little bit of a janky build. I don't know if that's the right word, but it works, but I have no idea how. Like, the pathing is a little bit of a mess, the building itself is a little bit of a mess. Also, for some reason, like, whenever the camera is on, all the tigers suddenly get in here. Hi. But when the cameras are off, they all just run outside. They're a little fluffy attention horse. Yeah. Again, not that, just sleeping. We saw an ear wiggle. He is alive. Or she. Bye bye. But yeah, this is another area, just like the gold mine, that only recently started working in daytime because they fixed the lights so that if lights are in a cave, they automatically turn on. I think you can now also do it that even if they're not in a cave, that they also turn on. I think they've done it like that, that you can like switch it on and off, and automatic, which means that in caves or at night they turn on. But yeah, there are little hiding spots, which again, I think these orchid or orchid blossom trees, forgot the name for them, are supposed to be like a religious feature in Kayan al-Bashar. And yeah, even though it doesn't look that much like it, like only when the light hits it in a certain way does it look like there are petals falling. Otherwise it just looks like leaves. I really hope we get more like effects in Planet Zoo. I mean, these, you wouldn't notice it immediately, but you can see it here in these tiny areas, but this is made out of 4 Arctic lights, or at least the torches that came from the Arctic pack, to create the fire. Because I wanted fire, and then, well, we don't have any fire effects sadly in Planet Zoo. So I had to work around that. Now I usually use these South America torches. Also, why is the frame rate dropping so much right now? I looked at the Hagia Sophia, didn't I? That. But yeah, so this is smaller Petra. And the main temple's my version of Petra. Completely just trying to make sure that the color was the same as the rocks. Can't say that's the best thing. But yeah, this is the part to watch the staff area, which is not decorated at all. Well, the actual staff area is just the plain box that they come in. But anyway, we're going to the final area right now. So, it's autosave, which is a transition area. So, this is still supposed to be the Mirage Mountains, the Sultan's Forest. And I'm just going to immediately say, the arch, I'm not too hyped about. It's just there. It's really just to signify the end of the Mirage Mountains. What I am happy about is hopefully we can get down there. So, hey, you guys have pooped all over the place. Great. I think it's this area. Yep. This waterfall. Like, you won't see like great lakes in Kayan al-Bashar, but this area I love. Like, just with the waterfalls. I'm moving a little bit sporadic. I'm glitching through walls and rocks, but yeah, I love this place. More so than the arch. Like, sometimes you think, oh, that arch is going to be the big thing. Nope. I just love the nature. I mean, I think we should stop here because going further, we are going into the Royal Palace. So I hope you enjoyed the video. We're going to stop here because I love this waterfall. And I wish you all an amazing day, of course. Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit like just blown away by the waterfall. So I'm messing up my outro. But yeah, wish you all an amazing day. There is a like and subscribe button if you want to see more. And there's a bell button that 90% of the time doesn't work. But anyway, have an amazing day. Bye bye.